like I say, I left off yesterday at the customer house. Now I'm sitting, doing all the paperwork for them as far as the inspection. Like I say, right now, because I read a comment as far as why I ain't using iPad technology. So I don't believe in going in debt and anything like that. So right now, we just paying everything cash. The money that I make on my full-time job or the money I make on the side, I'm putting back in the company, but we're not going in debt or anything like that. So I do want to take advantage of the technology, but for right now, I have to do things, with a pen and paper, the old school way, invest my money into things that really, I think, be beneficial to the company. It's like, because right now I'm using like paperwork, old school, everything paper right now. As far as the invoices go, so that I don't want to. I didn't want to have to use the invoices and stuff like that. Hold on one second. I didn't want to have to use paper or get a customer copies, because I do feel that's old fashioned, but that's what my budget allows right now. Like I say, we're not gonna do the dead thing over here. But eventually one day I will take advantage of the technology. I have invested in the QuickBooks right now. My wife is going to utilize this for me, because she's very smart. She has a bachelor's degree. She's working on her master's degree at Texas A&M right now. It's for government, but she's going to perfect this. So, because I'm a technician at heart right now, I don't really know the business part of it. So we both learning that. So this is going to be very helpful. So I won't have to use this paper invoicing no more. She's going to build a customer. Because right now I'm using like the Square D to take the credit card payments over my phone right now. I don't really like being in the customer kitchen or something like that, and they have to do the little square thing to collect payment. All I want to do is do the work. Tell the customer we'll bill them via email. My wife is going to handle all that. They can, because I'm also marketing. I got a graphic designer, and she's building my website right now. So the customer is going to be able to go online at www.washingtonacandheating.com and go online and make a payment from there. The website is not ready yet, but it is at work. I already got the domain name and everything. So, like I say, but we do got QuickBooks Premier. I'm going to download this now, and then my wife is doing research and see how exactly do we work this software right here. They have QuickBooks Desktop Pro, which is cheaper, but this one right here, they actually have the general contractor. You can see that the general contractor, so I can it's specialized. I can actually pick an HVAC format, so I don't have to use the invoices no more. I can go straight and just send the invoice or the receipts to the customer. It's gone, and I can put my bank account, my LLC bank account in QuickBooks. So when the customer pays, it goes straight to that account. So like I say, me working a full-time job and doing after I work, when I come home, be tired, I don't have time to do all the paperwork. So my wife is going to help out on that end of the business. They're going to do her part because it's our business. So like I say, trust me, I'm a tech guy. I want to take advantage of technology, but I'm not going to go in there to do it. We don't have the funds to do that right now. But love the comments, love the feedback, any help y'all can get, really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a tech guy. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Quick story, just in my blood. My granddad, an entrepreneur. He was the first black guy on a gas station. All right, folks, I'm gonna see if I can get this training on video. Seer 2. They haven't quite started yet. Well, Seer 2 training. I'm gonna see if I can get it recorded. So a lot of y'all will have to pay for this class, but I'm gonna bring it to you for the free. Get it for the hot free. Y'all already know I'm trying to add value to the community. So I'm gonna see if I can get this Zoom meeting on live. Seer 2 training. Maybe you see Ruud Seer 2 equipment rollout. I am a Ruud dealer. So we're gonna see what they talking about for they Seer 2 train, if anybody interested. What up, Frank? Yeah, that's a throwback video, Greg. Hey, nah, that's throwback there, Frank. I do everything by software now. That's old school there, but you learn from your mistakes. But this well, I ain't gonna say mistakes, but let's see if we can get this on film. Let me know in the comments if y'all can hear it. They haven't got started yet. Let me see, join. I personally can't hear anything myself, so I don't know if I don't think anybody talking. Oh. I don't think they have any audio yet, folks. Let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me or not. Yeah, Roger, I don't think they I don't know if anybody's saying anything or not. Let me see. Because I can't hear anything either. Let's see if we can get some of this Seer 2 training. So in my region, we won't be able to purchase any more 14 Seer AC units. If you're in the Midwest, I'm sure you can still get them because a lot of our dealers are shipping all their 14 Seer that's going to be left over beginning of 2023. They shipping all their 14 Seer equipment to other states. But in Texas, we would not be allowed to purchase 14 Seer equipment. So them customers, y'all got to come with a little bit more money. Like I said, I can't hear anything myself, folks. So I'm put on here, can't hear. Yeah, see, I think she just shoot.
Yeah, I don't think they I see talking right here. Let me see. See her, I think she the presenter. Her mic is mute. See Antoine Allen in the house. That's our tech. That's my tech right there, folks. Yeah, I see people talking. I can't hear though. Let me see if I can get us some audio. Let me see. I'm gonna leave and then come back up. Let me see something. Yeah, because I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, folks, I think it got something to do with their end. Let me see. Let's see if they're gonna let us back in. Everything trial and error, folks. I'm trying to get y'all some of this good content. Seer 2 training. Connecting audio. Is anybody talking? I can't hear anything. It's Walter, Washington, AC and Heating. Hello, had the training begun? I can't hear anybody.
I think they're waiting until 1 p.m. to get started.
Oh, 1 p.m. All right. Thanks a lot. I hear you loud and clear also. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Hey, Frank, say what you say, Frank? HAR. What's HAR? Wow. On your net payout, what are you doing? Hey, Frank, I can leave a link. Well, we got the 1 o'clock. That's just 5 minutes though. If you want to pop on, what exactly are you asking? As far as what I pay, net 30, 60, or 90? You mean who do I pay, my vendors, or what do the vendors pay me? Some of my commercial clients, some of them net 30. They say they net 30, but some of them pay me in 2 weeks. But as far as all my vendors, they like net 10, net 15, and net 30. I don't have anything going all the way out to 60 or 90 in either case. I don't know. I doubt it just cover 410 phase out, but on this new equipment, they probably going to let us know what kind of refrigerant they are going to use. I'm not sure what Ruud going to use. So, and if anybody has some CO2 training yet, let me know. Leave in a comment. So what is the minimum SEER in Texas? Is it 23? Nah, I think it's 16. Like say 14 and under gonna be discontinued.
All right, folks, I want to welcome
here we go.
everybody.
Let me know if y'all can hear.
Ruud Seer 2 equipment rollout Zoom meeting. For those of you who are just joining us, this is a certification class, and folks will receive individual certificates.
Y'all for to get certified.
So for everybody who's joining, please put your first and last name, your company name, a valid email address, and a good phone number in the chat for me so that we make sure that everybody gets credit for this. We don't want anybody not to get credit. We're due to start here in just about 5 minutes. We'll kick off at the top of the hour. So everybody go ahead, get you a snack, get you a beverage, and we'll get going here in just a little bit. Thank you, everybody.
So I think pretty much if you do get certified, you can at least be able to sell that kind of, sell the higher SEER equipment for them. Especially with Train, I got an account with Train. And sometimes, man, if you ain't went through any of their training, they would not let you sell that equipment. So if you have a customer want a higher SEER equipment, if you haven't, or your technician hasn't been certified, they won't sell it to you. So, I mean, I'm a Ruud dealer, so that's why I'm taking this class also. So if any customers want a high SEER equipment, they can get it. But this SEER 2 right here, like I say, they finna get ready to phase out all 14 SEER units here in my state. So they shipping a lot of this stuff to the states that's still able to sell those units. So we finna have significant price increases in the states that are not selling 14 SEER anymore. So them $8,000, $9,000, them days are gone, folks. You need higher efficiency units. You can call it inflation, whatever you want to call it. You can blame it whoever you want to blame. But you got to cut that check. All right, Frank, man, you be safe on that roof, man. I just left the roof. I did 2 commercial properties today. Just left the roof. I got a leaking evaporator coil. I actually need to be sending a quote right now to either I told him I can fix that coil, or he going to quote to replace the unit. So I'm giving both options. But be safe out there, y'all. Should be starting about 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Got to get that training, folks. If anybody got he say doing 8 units. If anybody got expertise at this SEER 2 equipment, and have you had training yet? Like I say, your boy HVAC giving y'all some free training right now, so you'll be self-certified. At least you can go back to your fellow coworkers and tell them you had the training, or you can go back to your boss and tell them you had some training. So you, like I say, I don't know how in-depth this is gonna go, but you can't put it on, hey, you want that raise, go tell your supervisor, hey, I'm the only one that been in the company. I'm HVAC certified for SEER 2 training. Tell them you want a raise. Come on with that 50 cents or $1. Tell them you need that, because you the only one in the company. I told you, hey, they're rolling out the new units. What we is in September. They ain't for to start rolling out these in 2023. So you 3-4 months ahead of the game. H-Town in the house. H-Town in the house. Hey, y'all better get ready. Y'all better get ready. Y'all know I got a floss. I got my boy Jalen Green and my boy Smith. He should have been #1 in the draft pick. Y'all better be ready for them Rockets. We coming. H-Town in the house. You know, Rockets geared up. I've been a Rockets fan since the early 90s, really the 80s. I've been doing this. I know we probably last in the league right now, but hey, at the end of the day, hey, major comeback. Minor setback for a major comeback. Harden Wood, my boy, I'm glad he gone, man. We got them youngsters, man. We got them youngsters, though. We finna take over. Got the Spurs in the house. We got the Spurs in the house. Hey, y'all in the rebuilding process too, but hey, we got them young gunners. And everybody we got, we drafting. All right, Agent G, he always up in here, big supporter. Appreciate it, Agent. Like I say, man, I'm doing this for y'all, man. Little Seer 2 training. You know, I'm always about training. So let's get ahead of the curve. Let's get some of this free training. We got Antoine. Antoine probably can't hear me because I don't know if he on YouTube, but he in the building. He on the Zoom. He on the Zoom call. So he getting certified. All right. Like I say, this is a live screen. I ain't gonna answer too many questions, man. But hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is really for y'all. I could have kept this to myself, but I'm like, hey, I like to try to add value. So at the end of the day, everybody welcome. But he say, Walt, would you recommend a good school to go in Texas? I'm thinking about becoming an HVAC technician, learning from you all the time. I need to start my own school down in Maine. Oh man, man, I always say, man, just do your research though, and whatever it takes to get your foot in the door. I'm not big on schools or anything like that. I recommend people to try to get hands-on training, try to get with a company and see if they can kind of get you to after-hour schools and stuff like that. But this day and age, I don't know what state you in. Some states probably require an education 2-year program. I don't know, but I always try to tell people, put in every application, put an application with every company in your town or in your city, and they tell them you want to start, from doing maintenance or changing filters until you work your way up. And with that, you just take side classes, night classes, classes at supply houses. You should be familiar with all your HVAC supply houses. A lot of them have classes, training, EPA certification, stuff like that. But if you want to go to a school, I'm sure any of your local community colleges have some type of training. But good luck, man. This is it's a blessing to be in HVAC. It's probably a shortage. Like I say, it's $16 billion industry, and it's supposed to be it's steady on the incline. So it is a great option. Any of the trades is a great option. Johnny say he agree. In-house training. Yeah, in-house training, man. You can get with a company to do in-house training. That's the way to go. I'm sure a lot of companies, they have to pay for you to go to those classes, but it may be some type of tax benefit or a write-out to them. So even when you get into a company, you should start searching for training yourself, even if they not because a lot of times they get busy and they not searching for training, but a lot of companies do have budget for training. So you look
Hi,
for those
Zoom
training
folks. They're settling
see if
in
they
in the
can pay
main
for it.
room. It's taken them just a second. So we are on track. And I will, you guys should hear them as soon as they start, but we'll be going here in just a minute.
Man, Ruud and Ream are pretty much the same thing, man. The same thing like training American Standard, you know. Pretty much the same exact thing. Even Weather King for Century products, but Ruud and Ream pretty much the same. But as far as Weather King, sometimes you might not get your additional safeties on the unit. You know, your high and your low pressure switches. But as far as compressors and motors and that copper, all that's the same. We got Jorge in the house. I think Frank had to leave, so he's going back on the roof. We got what's Shaddai too. I probably screwed that name up. We got Kermit. Everybody welcome, man. Hey, about 16 people up in here now, man. So I can't see the likes, but we should have at least 16 likes. Smash that like button. We're gonna tell YouTube, yeah, WWH back. Hey, he on the map. Yeah, out here trying to get knowledge of this industry, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And don't forget the R, refrigeration. We the trades people. See, a lot of people be sleeping on the trades. We ain't up under the AC, but you can get up under the AC too if you want to be an office worker. Like I told you, hey, so many different things up under the umbrella of HVAC. If you want to sit at the office all day, you might want to be a dispatch. You got dispatchers, male and female. You got you got your engineers trying to develop HVAC. You got your sales guys. You know, they're making cold calling, trying to get those contracts. Man, so many different things you can do in HVAC. You know, people designing this equipment right here. You might want to be a tech support guy. You can sit back. If you're good at schematics and, you know, reading diagrams and learning everything about the controls part or how to troubleshoot a system, you can be a troubleshooter or a tech support. You just got to be out there in that field. Like Frank said, he getting on that roof. You ain't got to get on that roof. You can sit up under the HVAC and enjoy that good air conditioning. We got Sam Andrew in the house. Yeah, man, y'all hit that like button. Y'all share with your team, share with your coworkers. I'm sharing this with y'all. Hey, share this link to your coworkers, man. Hey, tell them we finna get CRM II qualified. And a lot of y'all probably not y'all probably be 2024 before y'all start having to use this style of equipment. So if you're not pleased, if you know, it might be 2024, 2025, but eventually you will see this equipment. So you might well, I don't know how detailed it's going to be, but you might well get kind of familiar with it now, especially if it's for the free. I know a lot of y'all working today, a lot of your coworkers working, or your manager. Send it to your manager. I don't know. They told me this meeting was gonna start at 12:30, but it's already 1 o'clock. They haven't got started yet, and I got an appointment at 3 o'clock, so I really don't know how long I'm gonna be. I got a quote sitting out there. I actually got to change an inducer fan motor out, and we're not even using heaters right now. But they had an inspection today. About 3 weeks ago, somebody purchasing at a house. I did the inspection on it. Inducer fan motor was kind of loud, so I'm gonna go replace that today and do patch up a little duct work for her. So I got to get in that attic Got to get in that attic in a couple hours. So they better tighten up here. I need to leave by 2:30. All right, Johnny G. Hey, let me know. I appreciate the age, man. You always a supporter of the channel, man. You always a supporter of the channel, man. If you have any questions, man, let me know too. Cause hey, you always dropping them super chats on me, man. So if you got any questions, man, you'll definitely move to the front of the line. And hopefully I can answer your question. But
We're ready to get rolling.
I appreciate it, man. Salute.
For coming out today. We appreciate you coming to learn about all the new changes.
Man, she got a lot of echo in the background.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to Central Student Center and to introduce you we have David Brand, who's in charge of packaging stuff for Ruud.
All right, let me know if y'all can hear.
Who's in charge of sales stuff for Ruud. And they are both here to give you guys a thank you very much.
I'm just here to support him. He's the one doing all the work. I know what you guys. Probably another question.
We'll try. Does the mic go thick? Can y'all hear me?
Recording in progress.
I'm a district technical rep for Ruud Seer Contractor in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and a couple other places in Mexico. My territory keeps growing. I don't know how to get all those places. I grew up in this industry. I've been in the industry since I was about 14 years old, which is a long time now. My dad had an electrical HVAC company, and my uncle had an electrical company, master electrician, and a licensed contractor in Texas, top trade school in State Center College for about 7 years. And one of these days I'll figure out what I want to do when I grow up. I've been with Ream about 3 years now. I've seen a bunch of these changes come through the industry over the years, and they've all been kind of easy to find a workaround, right? You didn't want to do it, just do it. 22 change, for example. It took 10, 11, 12, 15 years to phase that stuff out because we were selling dry nitrogen units, oil C units, and all kinds of things. Shouldn't have been doing it, but we were. These changes won't happen now. So all of these changes are written, the laws are written, state install date, no manufacturer date. So even if they have it in the barn, once this year is over, they can't sell it, period. And you can't legally install it, period. If it doesn't rate to a Tier 2 rating with a name tag and an HRI match. If you do, and you get sued, then you're gonna eat it, and the fines are hefty, like EPA violations. So, you know, a lot of the guys haven't been paying attention, and this change that's going to hit us December 31st of this year is like a big brick wall staring us in the face. Every model number that you know today will no longer exist, with exception of some furnaces. But why are we doing what we're doing? It's not just Ruud or anybody else, it's the government. So the government says we have to be sustainable. We have to start worrying about where our energy is going, where our waste is going. And we've got targets to be waste free in the landfill by 2025. We're supposed to be a sustainable company using recyclable materials and saving on CO2 emissions and all the things that our government's telling us we have to do. Along with that comes efficiency set points for package units and residential products at non-prepaid package units right now is what we're talking about. But a lot of our products have a sustainability seal. That just means that these products are meeting the current sustainable product values that the government has set forth. And you'll see this seal on a lot of the product nomenclature going forward. So I'll explain what it is. But it basically means that we are making an effort to make these products earth-friendly. Now, the bigger thing that's driving this is the Department of Energy Regulation, which is the M1 change. You know, before we rated a piece of equipment with what is known as an M standard. The M standard rates it with a certain watts per BTU per hour and fan efficiencies, and it was rated at a 0.2 static pressure, when in reality we know with a field installed unit running 0.2. So the government says we're lying to people, we're not selling them what we're telling them we're selling. So they re-rated it and they call it the M1 standard. And the M1 standard is basically allows less, or it's an increase in watts per BTU, which changes the SEER rating. And it's going to drop SEER about 10% efficiency, and they'll be re-rated as SEER 2. It also raises the testing procedure to 0.6 into the static pressure instead of 0.2 into the static pressure. All that equates to, you know, basically a 14 SEER becoming a 13 SEER. Now, at the same time, right now, minimum SEER in this part of the country is 14 SEER. That also changes at the end of this year. So now you've got a minimum SEER that's going up to 14.3 SEER 2 and a rating that's dropping your SEER down a point. So now you're really looking at 16 SEER stuff. You're looking at today's equipment minimum efficiency in January 1st, 2023. So, you know, from our product standpoint, that's going to mean RA14s, RA15s, RA16s, they're going away too, but I think some of them would rate, but they won't exist. So all that's gone. No more. And then the 17s are going away, so there won't be any RA17s or RP17s. And then the 20 SEER re-rates to a 18 SEER 2. And we've got all new products filling in the gaps. Now, some of the manufacturers out there have kicked the can, and they're going to wait and do their redesign when the refrigerant changes, which is the end of 2024. So they're just going to draw a line under everything that won't rate, and they will re-rate the rest. They'll sell what they've got. They won't sell what they don't have. We don't want to do it that way. We have been testing this equipment. We were ready to roll our 4B into this equipment when the changes were going to happen this year. And then when that stuff got pushed back to 2025, we just said, okay, we're just going to put 410A in the stuff that we've been testing with 4B. Pressures are about the same, you know. 454B is about 15 PSI lower on the high side than 410A. So that's where we're at today. So we won't have as big of a hurdle to climb when the refrigerant changes as some of the other guys who are choosing not to do this now. But either way, the hang tag on the piece of equipment that they sell after January 1st has to say that it rates at a minimum of 14.3 SEER 2 to be sellable in the southern region of the United States. Questions about that? And we have to keep questions kind of limited because we got 280 slides to go through in 240 minutes. So, everybody good so far?
The question I have is, okay, when you talk about the SEERs and all that good stuff, in order to get to that SEERs that you mentioned, you're gonna have to replace those three components. Not one, not two.
Right. You shouldn't be replacing one component right now. If you are, then it's gonna hang you at some point, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
contractor law says in Texas that the contractor is responsible for installing a match system with an HRI rating. And if you get sued and you haven't done that, you've lost before you walk in the courtroom.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay.
And that's just a risk a lot of everybody takes, right? I mean, they may not even know they're taking it, but if you're changing a condenser and you're putting that condenser on somebody's 20-year-old coil, it's not a match system. You don't know how many BTUs it's going to produce. Our heat pumps have no warranty if you use that. None, not one day. You put it on this coil, it doesn't match it. We know it's going to die. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, all this stuff is a system change out, not a piece of a system change out.
I'm sorry. If you're a customer, sometimes you get a customer if you're not everything, they're signing off on it.
Won't stand up. It makes you feel good in your head, but if you get sued, contractor law says the license holder is responsible for system selection and system design.
We know what happens.
With M1 M1 product. That's the only thing that will transfer forward.
Yeah, so really, M1 is not impact category. So only, they've got, especially the large one of the other two that they have, that will be built this year, but they'll continue to sell next year. There's still that right system, so you got the airflow and all those things, but there's no sell by date on it.
Or heat pumps.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I've been calling this market for 30 years, and this has always been what I call the anti-heat pump market, because most contractors here, and I understand, you got gas here, gas is affordable, it's cheap, put in gas furnaces and you go down the road, but there's always been a lot of pushback against heat pumps here. Heat pumps are not impacted by M1, so if they're built this year, even though we got to build a new heat pump for next year too, but if it's built this year, you can sell it next year. So it's not impacted by the sell by date. Neither are packaging for whatever reason.
Three-phase packaging, single-phase packaging are. Well, they can be sold through, but this changes the regulation.
Yeah, we got to come up with a new one, but you can continue to sell it. But straight cooling, you cannot sell a unit we built this year. A current M1 this year, next year, but you can heat pump. But the other thing about heat pumps that I wanted to bring up is this new, what are they calling the
Electrification.
No,
The tax.
they call it the reduction, the inflation reduction, whatever. There's part of that is there's going to be, got qualified, depends on your income level, but there's going to be an $8,000 tax credit for installing a heat pump next year. Not $800, $8,000.
If you're changing from gas.
Right. If you got a heat pump, they're not going to pay you to put in another heat pump. But if you got a gas system and you put in a heat pump and you qualify, that has to do with how much income and stuff. I don't know all I know about it. That's an awful big incentive for people to go to heat pumps. And won't you go to electric area and gas?
No. Well, I mean, either or. Because a heat pump, even though a heat pump has an electric air handler on it, still, most of them at a minimum are 6 times more efficient than electric heat. So even with an air handler, and watching today's heat pumps will get 100% capacity down to even the single stage stuff a lot of times 17 degrees outside. So some of the variable heat stuff down to -7 100% capacity without system at all. So yes, it would be an air handler or a furnace. A lot of it is a heat pump with furnace.
So you're going to see more heat pumps in Walmart. And eventually they're going to make us do away with gas completely.
Okay, so basically all that was said right now was that the equipment that we have, that you're selling right now, that Century is selling right now, we will no longer be able to install it next year. But we have to use the new stuff.
Right.
In the past, we're going to worry about it because you're going to be selling stuff, right? That's what we will be installing.
Right. But there's a lot of distributors that have to move inventory out because they can't right here.
And then also what you said was we can't, when we install the new stuff, we can't just install a condenser on an existing coil from this year.
Well, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. The whole system. Yeah, it won't be matched with, in other words, the new condenser won't be matched with coil.
So the 31st, we can no longer.
Yeah, and in the past, whenever they did a change to the efficiency, they would let you sell through everything that was built. You couldn't build anymore. This DOE this time said no, you cannot install it. It's illegal to install next year.
So I think what you're asking is that changing as the 31st? And the answer is really no. That's correct. So if you take let's say an RE14 and you put it on a 15-year-old period oil starting in there, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, you don't do that.
You can register it, but out for a year as long as it's not a heat pump. But the third compressor, they're gonna start asking questions what the end on the But yeah, going forward, it will be more critical because the way all these laws are written, the contractor laws and everything else, and they're gonna be putting stuff under a microscope. You're gonna take a lot more risk when you're doing things that you do every day now. Try not to tell them that. For that no zone down there, if you go to Reed's main webpage, and you go to the HVAC no zone, all the regulatory guides and the laws and the things that are being written that are making us do all this are listed there with pamphlets and guides. And if you want to read the laws and what they say, then that's where you got to get them. The other thing that comes up with that, like y'all were talking about matches and what's going forward, the last day to register and use products on RA14 with the foil and all that stuff that won't re-rate to an M1 standard is December 31st of 2022. So that's what, 3 months from now? So if you install it, let's talk about a new construction house, right? We're rubbing it in right now. We're going to set a condenser in January. You better buy the condenser now, because when they're gone, there are no more. We can't build it. So you better be buying matches, because the air handlers that you're putting in right now won't match in one product. And after.
Hey, on that regard, the new house being built today, we run into this in the past, where the indoor equipment got put in now, 6 months later, the outdoor equipment gets put in. Now, you'd almost have to have both pieces on the job site before December 31st.
You better get your barn or storage unit. That's the way you're going to go about it. Or you're going to have to wait until they get the M1 air handlers and furnaces in stock and rough in with that. The other caveat to that is we can't let you register it past December 31st. We have a 90-day grace period right on our warranty document that says you have to register it within 90 days to have a registered warranty. But the install date has to be December 31st, 2022. So that's when the warranty will start. Does that make sense? Even if you register it in March within that 90 days, if the install date is not December 31st, it's not registered. 16 be gone. No, because we're not re-rating it.
Folks that are taking the 16 years a day and re-rating it, they're actually having to wipe out all of their HR ratings, put that in the re-rate and the tier 2.
So this brings it down a little further. Y'all are in the southeast region, so it's telling you that you can't install anything under 45,000 BTUs, so that's up to 3.5 tons. That doesn't rate 14.3 tier 2, and anything over 45,000 BTUs, so 4 tons, 5 tons, 13.8 tier 2. Split heat pumps, 14.3 across the nation, tier 2. Single package AC 13.4, single package heat pump 13.4, tier 2. Define smaller. Still applies. So we'll look at our lineup in a minute, but this is everything that we have in unitary product from 1.5 to 6 tons. It doesn't matter what brand either. Somebody asked me about Weather King earlier. It all applies to Weather King. It doesn't. We're not using the same technology to make this happen in the Weather King that we are in the Marine Research Company stuff.
Most nation lists are already rated pretty high.
But if they don't have a hang tag that says tier 2 on it, unless it's a heat pump, and most of them are nowadays, they're not sellable. So a straight AC that didn't have a tier 2 tag on it wouldn't be sellable. But a heat pump would be, as long as it rates. So this is where they're hanging you on the re-rate stuff, right? It was thought about in the beginning that we would just say, okay, we'll redo our matchups and we'll say, if you put this with this, then it's matched, 14.3 tier 2, and that's the way we would sell it. But that isn't the way the government wrote the law. The government wrote the law that has to have a reading tag with a minimum tiers of above 14.3 tier 2. So if you look at a bunch of our coil owner ratings, a lot of them will say 14 to 20 tier or whatever, because the lowest rating is what you have to put on the bottom of the tag. So any of that stuff wouldn't rate anything. And the tag's got to stay Tier 2, or it's not sellable after January 31st if it's an air conditioning product, not a heat pump.
So that's gonna apply for like, this school, DY.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm just,
But any manufactured brand that's being sold in the United States, imported or not. How are we getting all this done? So one of the big changes that we're going to do is the Contractor app. So the Contractor app we have now will still have all the functionality that it has, PTS, warranty lookup, parts lookup, all the stuff that you should be using today, but a lot of people don't. But we will also have the ability to set up systems, troubleshoot systems, run diagnostics, HRI lookups, all that kind of stuff with the app with Bluetooth and boards. So I've got a trainer set up right there that you got a furnace board, an air handler board, and an outdoor unit board, and an Ethernet all on all those boards. If you look at them, have Bluetooth chips So you have to have a login on MyRoot to get the full functionality, but we will allow guest access to do installation, but you lose some of the troubleshooting features and some other features. I got a page in a minute that shows you exactly what you lose. But the app and the Ethernet going forward are going to be the only two ways to set up a piece of equipment or diagnose a piece of equipment. There will be no dip switches on any of these boards. Why, I guess, is the next question. But why, in a nutshell, is because to make all these changes happen, we have to have a wider band of air moving equipment without having a whole bunch of SKUs. But there was talk a while back, I don't know if they're still doing it, Carrier having a furnace that had like 27 blower speeds, which is, I mean, that's, to meet this kind of stuff, that's what you have to do. And we didn't want to do that. The board would have to get much more expensive to have all of the dip switches. Plus, we don't have a great level of people setting up the dip switches to begin with. So if we do it with an app, we can do drop-down menus. It'll be easier, faster. We just got done with a time study. It saves about 40% of the install time, setup time on a furnace using this versus dip switches. Convenient registration and warranty sign up. So in the future, when you're at a house, you'll be able to click on it, click those unit serial numbers, scan them. It'll geofence you. It'll know the address of the house. You get enter in a warranty registered right there. And then this bottom statement down here, talking about using troubleshooting methods without pressure gauges. So all of the inverter systems have transducers on them, so we can see suction pressure, discharge pressure, superheat, subfueling on the app or on the thermostat. And charge is critical. We have to have it right. It can't be close like it used to be in the 22 days. And the unit package units is even more critical. Our micro-channel package units, if you lose 6 ounces of refrigerant, it won't work anymore. Because so far off that will shut down. 6 ounces isn't very much, especially if we're talking about 3 or 5 hoses. If we do it with the app, we don't have gauges to it. We minimize the chance of putting on municipals in the system, and we don't have to worry about them changing the charge putting gauges on it. So that's why the technology is being driven forward. So you would download an app and you put it on your phone. Right now, the only thing available is the beta app, so don't download it. But by the end of September, the live app will be available and it'll be out before the equipment hits the ground. But this sticker, this blue sticker that you see to the right, will be on the box of the equipment, and it will be on the covers of the equipment, and it's going to tell you, you need this app to set this piece of equipment up. And it will work with iPhone or Android. You go to your login, it'll be your existing login credentials to the Ruud web access. If you're new, you can request an account. When you request an account, it has to tie you back to being a dealer with a distributor. So here it will be a dealer with Century, and then it gets approved. So right now, probably everybody doesn't have my Ruud access, so we'll have to work towards that correctly. You'll need it. So just for curiosity's sake, who right now is not using the Ruud app or the Ruud website? So what I usually see is about 50% off, 50% off aren't. Some of it is they just don't know it exists. Some of it is they just have chosen not to do it. But you know, even if you're not using it today, you're losing the ability to look up spec sheets, install manuals, wiring diagrams for current products, products, HRI matches, Econet troubleshooting, all kinds of stuff is built into the app today. If you're not using it, you're just causing yourself problems when you're trying to fix some of this stuff. Taking you longer to do it, you can just look it up all on your phone or iPad. So you put your password in, it's going to show you that you're logged in. If you're logged in, it will say your name up there, so John McClain's logged in. If you're not logged in, it will say yes. That's how you know if you're logged in or not. The hamburger icon or the menu icon will toggle to bring up a side screen, and then you've got install, service, and sales. So the app's going to be broken up into 3 segments: installation, service, and sales. The side menu is going to bring out account settings. You can also go back to your install, service, and sales from here. It'll give you a tour, and then you got privacy and all that stuff on it. If you need to edit your account, you can do it from here, or you can do it from the website. But this account is tied to your MyRuud account, so the login on the web is the same as the login on here. If you have an iPhone, you can turn on Face ID. You can turn on notifications, Touch ID, and notifications. If you have an Android, they don't do Face ID. You can do fingerprint, and you can do notifications. Here's what you lose if you're not a guest. So we can see on the left, that's your guest feature. So you've got diagnostic status, service repair, install, product browser, scan product, request account, contact, and app forward. If you're logged in, you have rebate, warranty, registration, claims, PTS, which is part of technical support, HVAC, Econet technician, distributor lookup, reseller lookup, parts lookup, real support, app preferences, your login stuff, edit profile, change your password, and then all of these things with the asterisk, like Quick Care, Quick Comfort, and Protection Plus, those are features that require some other form of login. So like Design Star, for example, that's a light version of BrightSoft that we have available. It'll do block calculations, block load calculations on your phone or your iPad. Rapid Spec is a program that we're going to use for extended performance data. So we use it a lot for commercial right now, but we're working to get residential put into it. So that's where you'll go to get extended performance data for matchups. And then Rate Booster and HRI. The questions on guest features, or what you lose by not being logged in. The biggest thing from my perspective would be the ability to go from the fault code that is showing you on the app straight into PTS in the field, and the PTS is going to take you to the Econet help pages, and it's going to tell you exactly what that fault code means and what you should check to rectify it. So we go to the install page, you're going to see set up a Bluetooth, a QR or barcode scanner, because a lot of the parts that you replace are now going to be programmed in the field and tied to that unit serial number in the field. Diagnostic, system status, PTS, retailer and distributor lookup. You go to service, you have the same 4 top screens: system status, diagnostics, QR, and Bluetooth. You go to warranty lookup, tech support, HVAC technician, retailer, and distributor on the bottom protection plus, quick comfort, things that are built into our programs like Pro Partner and selling features. Bluetooth setup. So once you hit the install tab, you're going to go to set up with Bluetooth. You're going to click that. It's going to ask you what you want to set up. You're going to pick air handler, furnace, or outdoor unit, and then it's going to bring up every serial number of that style of unit that's within 40 feet of you. Then you pick the serial number that you want to set up, and it's going to ask you questions to set it up. Somebody asked me earlier if you can log into it more than once. The answer is yes, but you can only have one phone or device tied to it at one time. And it will remember whatever is saved last. So if there's an Ethernet smart system on the system, smart stat on the system, it's going to flash a message up that says Ethernet found, and then you go to the Ethernet to set it up. Because the Ethernet overrides the app. So once we configure all the settings, it's going to ask us things like, what do we want our gas heat rise to be? What do we want our unit outdoor stages to be? That's only available to the non-communicating outdoor. What ton it is, again, non-communicating outdoor. Defrost termination on a heat pump, EXP superheat, if the outdoor unit has an EXP superheat, or the indoor unit has an EXP. To my knowledge, currently, the only matchups that I'll go forward that have EXPs are the 18 tier 2 stuff. None of the mid-tier products have EXPs on. From there, it's going to ask you if you want to go to advanced settings. And advanced settings is where you're going to be able to do airflow offsets, cooling airflow adjust, heating airflow adjust, ODD, etc. It's going to give you a warning over there on the left that says proceed with caution. Make sure you know what you're doing, and you have the ability to kill the system if you're not careful with what you pick here. The reason for that is with blowers that have a lot of range, you have a lot of rope to hang yourself. So we're going to allow up to 25 to 30% airflow reduction from nominal. System can't run with 30% reduction in airflow for very long, the way they're built today. But it will tell you what your target CFMs are after you do your reductions, and you got to keep in mind that all of these, like let's say you have on-demand dehumidification, engage, and then you reduce your airflow by 10%, that's going to add those two together. Not going to be one or the other. Again, outdoor unit stages, outdoor unit tonnage, high gas rise, low gas rise for a two-stage furnace. What do those numbers mean? Factory side return +7, +12. What's it doing? Do it with dip switches today. Not so much fan speed, but yeah, so it changes the torque value, which changes the CFM. So side return, for example, on the current product is labeled as -12, -12 degrees temperature rise, because it's increasing the torque value of that motor to overcome the turbulence of pulling air into the side of that furnace versus pulling it through the bottom of the furnace. But it's really not doing anything to speed. So we had to call it side return here because FER regulations, fan energy regulations change. And if we put -12 on there, then they would test all of our products at that torque value, because that's the highest torque value. Therefore, it would make us have bigger fans. You couldn't get FER with the fans that we're using if we labeled that as -12. But effectively, if you use that setting on an upflow furnace, it would decrease temperature rise, because it's going to increase the airflow. Blower off delay. So here you'll be glad to know that you can turn the cooling blower off delay off, like completely. The constant torque motors that we have currently, that was delayed built into the motor parameters itself, there's no way to turn it off. So here you can turn it off, or you can put it on 30 or 45 or 60. 45 is the default. We can tell it if it's a single stage thermostat or a two-stage thermostat. We can have high stage heating timers. So if we got a furnace, we can lock out low stage for 15 minutes, not let it run into the high 15 minutes. High stage AC blower air reduction. So that is going to be one place you can turn down your airflow if you want to turn it down in air conditioning mode. And all of these little eye symbols besides this in the app, if you click on that, it will tell you this is what this does, like an information screen. Again, for the advanced settings, it's going to give you a warning. The warning is not going to stop anybody from doing it, but it's there because, you know, technically, if you turn all these airflows down and the compressor dies in 3 days, that's not a warranty.
I want to forge you where you drop the crossway.
No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. Defrost terminate temperature, so like we were doing it with a dip switch or a pull-off tab on the outdoor unit heat pumps. If this isn't a heat pump market, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you can set it, and it was dip switches or pull-off tabs, and now it's in the amp. That's just asking what coil temperature you want your defrost to terminate at. EXP superheat offset, there's really no real-world application for you to be able to target something other than what the factory was targeting. If you're having to offset superheat on an EXP system, chances are you got an airflow charge problem. They're all targeting 6 to 8 degrees if they're running EXPs, and that's what they need to be targeting. But you can't adjust it if you think it's something you want to do. Changing parts. So there's been chaos in our parts availability here lately, and it's everybody. It's anything from washing machine parts to car parts to air conditioner parts. One way that you mitigate that from a manufacturing standpoint is we have to use more vendors where we're not relying on one person to supply all these pieces. So it's possible that you see some of these units that have one has a NIDEC motor in it, one has a Regal motor in it, and one has a US motor in it. And if you buy something from Ring Parts or Root Parts and it's not what you out of that unit, well then you have to tell that board, I'm using this fan motor instead of this fan motor, or this compressor instead of this compressor. And the way that we're going to do that is with a QR code and the app. We're going to scan the piece of equipment, we're going to scan the part. It's going to load what it needs to load. You're going to install it. Tell it what it is. We'll get that to it. It's going to tell you to put a sticker on it that says I've got this part number in this unit, and then it's going to tie that back to that unit for warranty purposes. The status screen, we're going to be able to see all the things that we're going to see on the status screen of the Ethernet plus some more. So on this screen, we can see we're going to system status. We're going to pick what we want to look at. So furnace, air handler, outdoor unit. It's going to pull up all the sensors that are in that available unit, and it's going to display the parameters that it can see in real time. So things like suction pressure, discharge pressure, superheat, subcooling, input control, supply air temperature, outdoor temperature, return air temperature, target CFM, whether your heat kit's on or off, auxiliary input, what heat kit size is in it, what your airflow settings are. All the way down to compressor amps and voltages and all that fun stuff. Like right there. 242 volts, 19 system amps, 17.9 compressor amps. And then it's supposed to be able to put this all together into a spreadsheet and you can email it to somebody. So like the job site sheet. So diagnostics are going to work the same way. We're going to hit run diagnostics. We're going to pick a piece of equipment and then the serial number, and it's going to tell you your fault history and your active alarms like it does in the right. So then you can click on one of those alarms, and if you were logged in, it would take you to the corresponding help page, and it would tell you what that alarm means, what you should check, all the things that could cause it. And then if you want to clear alarms, you hit clear alarms like you do in the Ethernet. This right-hand page over here is out of the help pages, so that's what it would do if you were connected to the internet and you clicked on the fault. Service. So we go to the service side, we're going to replace parts. We're going to pick what we want to replace, what unit we're replacing it in. It's going to scan the part, scan the unit, marry that part to the unit, then you power the unit down, power it back up, and then we're going to work. So the app will update the equipment to the same settings from the beginning of the setup process. It's going to tell the fan motor what parameters to run. So like all the data that we used to have in data cards is now going to be in the app. There's no data cards on these boards. So you got to program the data information, whether that be fan parameters or compressor, run stream bytes, or whatever the case may be, into that unit and tell it this is what it's using. Then it's going to give you this is going through all the different ones, the motor, a compressor, here we go. So if it's something that you're programming in the field, so your motors, we're working with manufacturers that are going to do most of these outdoor units are running BLDC motors. So that's a ECM motor, a three-phase motor without an invalve. And the motor is controlled by the board or the drive or whatever the case may be. So we're using a motor from NIDEC. It's got one set of parameters. We're using one from Regal. It's got another set of parameters. And those parameters are what we're changing the board when we replace that hardware in that unit. And then as we do that, we put the tag on the unit that says now it has this part in it. This will also tie a compressor back to a serial number. So the compressor serial number is now married to the unit serial number. So if you get into warranty registration and getting something replaced and you pull the compressor out of one unit and you put it in another unit and those serial numbers don't match, it's going to tell you that it can't be warranted because it's got the wrong compressor and wrong unit. Does the same thing now, it's just not this automated. Questions, comments? It comes with the motor from RPD.
The app that I've got on my phone for the Contractor app does not look like this. Is this an update that's coming, or is there a special place to get it?
Something about where you get something.
The app that I have on my phone does not look like the one that's on your screen. It doesn't have
Right,
the
no.
options.
The app that's on the screen will be out like probably the end of this month.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Same thing with a compressor. So you scan the compressor when you get it in the box. You scan the unit. It will tell the unit that compressor is going in that unit. It will tie it back to warranty, and then you put a tag on it that says it has this compressor.
there a way that can be correct so if someone doesn't put the tag, the sticker back on?
I'm sure there is, but I don't know what user level it's available at, if that makes sense. So, I mean, this thing's gonna track everything from your initial settings, when you set the piece of equipment up, it's gonna take all that data and convert it to a cloud. So if we ever had a homeowner complaint and we knew that system was set up with the app, we could go back and we could see all the parameters that were set in that unit when it started up or not started up. As long as it's got this barcode technology, which all the new units are going through, it would know when you scan that unit, it would know what the BOE bill of materials said the original compressor was, and it would replace that compressor with the new compressor that you put in. I can tell you what serial number compressor comes in a unit right now and it doesn't make a phone call. So if it ever comes up that warranty is not paying for a compressor because the serial number is wrong, I can call and see what serial number was put in that unit at the time. This is no different. It's just automating the process. So account settings, we'll change our name or profile or phone number or email address. But again, this is all tied back to the Ruud portal. So if you change it here, it changes it there, or vice versa. You can change your password from here or on the computer. If you change it here, it changes it on the computer as well. You can, again, turn Face ID on, allow notifications. You can use thumbprint. You can learn about our sustainability initiatives by downloading our brochures, QR code. Everything's coming with a QR code nowadays. It's not just air conditioning. If you buy a VCR, you can still buy a VCR. They can have an instruction manual and it's going to have a QR code, and you go to a website and download a manual. So what's that doing to our equipment lineup? So we talked a little bit about that in the introduction slides, but we're going to look at
yeah, I'm finna get ready. I have to wrap it up here, man. They started late.
This is our
This guy said he got over 200 some slides to do. So
we're gonna have
I got a job. I got to be at 3 o'clock. So I'll probably let it roll another 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope y'all got something out this training. Sorry about the audio. It's kind of muffled, but
when we go to the 15 and 16
but thank y'all for participating. Remember, hit that like button before you leave. All right, peace. Y'all be safe out there. On to the next.
This is not the inverter that we're using currently. And we'll talk about more about that, what the differences are in a little while. And then the UA18AZ is really the same compressor that you see in the 20 today, re-rated to an 18 Tier 2 with a different drive in it. Just an updated drive. We'll talk about that in a little while.
Make sure the high
We wanted anything higher than 18 Tier 2. And I don't think that immediately anybody will, because there's not really anybody out there with a true unit that's higher than 20 Tier in a unit. Or there's some that say they are, but if you look at the matchups, they don't install that way. They might install that way with one particular combination, but not across the line.
Well, the UA20 is around now. If we have compressor failure, or we get a new unit.
What that is right there, they got a 2-stage nest coming out.
Getting to the point where you don't have any units right now.
Is that a nest thermostat?
December 31st. So the answer is going to be put a compressor in it with a labor allowance, or we'll credit you for an outdoor unit, but you got to make the homeowner buy it before the national.
The UA18 back to the indoor unit.
Won't do it.
Like they got a 2-stage nest.
It'll be just like the UAR bills and UAS bills now, you know.
Oh yeah, okay. They got a 1-stage. Yeah, that's the pro nest right there.
You gotta buy a coil or a air handler to match it. Or the UP20As, you know, the heat pumps out there, get the jar and heat pump market, y'all haven't ran across this as much, but all homeowner's got to buy an area, or it'll die. It's getting that critical, and that's not just the inverter and stuff, that's any unit. That's why you can't change one piece of a system anymore and get away with it. You might get away with it in the short term, but it ain't gonna live a long, happy life.
Y'all gotta change the complete system now. Ain't no more changing condensing,
That's
just
a good
the eval.
question. It's gonna come up. There ain't gonna be any units to replace it with. If we had full control over how they're installed and applied, then yes. But we don't.
So we'll have the brothers for
Yeah, we have to keep parts available. Well, I say this with a grain of salt, when parts are getting hard to come by. We're gonna have them, but I don't know how available they'll be. But we have to supply parts for anything that we haven't built for 10 years. Or have a solution if we can.
Willie Barbosa.
And there'll be some people that handle that, so unit replacement warranty stuff. Really, if you read the warranty document, it doesn't say that we'll give you a unit anytime.
Aye, Mr. Mechanical.
We'll replace the unit if we can't find a solution to repair the unit.
Ice, white
or don't
ice.
have anything to replace it with. There's sentences past 3 units that nobody ever reads.
They say that white ice is colder.
And this series, the 16s and the 18s will also have a unit replacement warranty, the 15 won't. Then we go to heat pumps, and that's when everybody really gets excited. So if you look down there at the base tier heat pump, RP14AZ, what's right beside of it? 2-stage. There is no single stage heat pump in the new lineup. That little star out there beside it tells you that there's 1.5 ton Ruud heat pump that matches with a couple of air handlers for multifamily, and that's the only single stage compressor that exists in a heat pump.
I got a question. What's that gonna do to our prices?
What do you say?
I couldn't tell you what you're paying now, and I don't know what you'll be paying then. I mean, I don't do pricing, I'm that guy. Really, it doesn't make sense if you're pricing, right? Because anything that you pay, you're gonna pass on to the consumer. Now, what is it gonna do with system price?
What's your cost figure? Please, that's kind of
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's the components that we're using driving up the cost. And we've had cost increases all over the board from this commodity. Steel, aluminum, copper, refrigerant. I mean, the refrigerant cost isn't going back down. They set up production, they can't make 410A up until a certain capacity, period. So what's that going to do to the price? Well, it ain't going back down. Metal, when something drastically changes in the world, it ain't going back down. So the answer is, all this stuff that I'm telling you, all the changes that are coming down the pipe, financing is going to be critical. You're going to hit a time when you're just going to have to tell people, you can't take cash for it. Some of them will, but for the most part, it's going to be like a car. You go in a car dealership right now, one person and the sales guy asks you, what do you want your payment to do? It isn't, what are you trading in? It isn't how much is the sticker price of the truck. It isn't how long are you financing it. It's what do you want your
Yeah,
payment
he right about that.
Because there are people in the world that go in there and they tell them, if you can get my payment $600 a month, nothing else matters. I'll buy it.
That's a good point right there. We got to start selling the AC unit like cars.
That's the mentality.
Ain't nobody paying cash for cars. You got to get it
This
financed.
is not going to be any different.
We making these unit too affordable. No,
It's gonna be a luxury.
hit them with the finance.
I don't think so, because I don't think people will go without it. It's going to drive the cost up, but it's just you're going to have to find a way to finance it and move on.
Yeah, got a way to finance and to move on. It's a sales
Could be,
training.
but all this stuff applies to those too. Portable units, window units, dehumidifiers, all got to be safety rated. We don't make the per down unit, right? So right now, y'all are using like First Company or somebody, and, you know, if somebody calls me with a tech support question about our area, our outdoor units and that, my answer is usually not what they want to hear. Does it have an HRI rating? Some of them do, with ADP Gold, First Company Gold. Is it our HRI rating?
Yeah, they quick to finance a car. You're gonna have to finance some of these AC units
I
now.
have people call me all the time, and they're like, what piston size? We don't have any piston size. We don't rate anything with a piston. Will it work? Maybe. Will this stuff work with it? Get in here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's saying don't sell no mismatched equipment, but they don't sell fur down units.
I don't know if there's any plans for us.
You gotta go get you a Goodman condenser then.
Ross is listening.
But that Ruud will work just fine with that fur down unit.
Then you move up to the RT15AZ. The 15 series heat pump is also a two-stage scroll. It's not an inverter. The air conditioner is an inverter. The heat pump is a two-stage scroll. The UP16 is the 3-speed or mid-tier inverter rotary compressor. And then the 18 heat pump would be the variable speed scroll that we're using today in 22. If you pay attention to the right-hand column, you've got Ethernet products coming down in tier rating. So you're going to have some base tier air handlers that have an Ethernet on them with outdoor units that don't communicate. You're going to have 16 tier rated stuff that's Ethernet all the way out. You're going to have the 18 tier that has Ethernet, no other option. And then you're going to have some furnaces that are Ethernet with both communicating and non-communicating outdoor units. And you're going to have some residential package units that are now Ethernet. And that's going to be lots of manufacturers too, because you can't get these energy efficiencies and keep this kind of system operation without having full control of your system. And if you don't have the communication, you don't recruit.
Oh man.
So this is showing you the classic base tiers. 801, 921, 951 are Ethernet compatible, but those would go with non-communicating outdoor units. The 96 2B and the 802B are constant CFU. Those are Ethernet. Those go with the mid-tier. The 97 and 98 go with the high tier, and those furnaces aren't changing boards, so those furnaces aren't Bluetooth. 97 and 98. And then you got a couple of builder grade models down there at the bottom that have constant torque motors in them. Twinning came up earlier, and if you're going to twin furnaces, you can't twin variable speed ECM. So those constant torque options, that's all you got. No, it's still running 325 to 370 a ton, depending on what we're talking about.
325 to 370 a ton.
They got actually run that, right? I mean, we can't, a lot of these systems that we run into in the field, we're saying we're putting 1200 CFM or 900 CFM or whatever the case may be, but that's what it's trying to do, but we can't do it with the dust system. So you got to overcome those obstacles, and it can only do what it can do.
Well, static pressure, when you're rating that up,
So they're still reading at 0.5, which you should be targeting at this time. But, you know, if you're targeting 0.5 and you install it and Ethernet telling you it's 1.5, that's a problem. Air handlers, we're going to have the RH10V. The mid-tier is going to match with RH3V, so you're going to have 3 stages of air to match 3 stages of compressor volume. Then you drop to an RH2V, 2P, 1P, F1P, F2P, V2P. So you get the short air handlers, the front return air handlers, a couple of constant torque air handlers, 1 PST air handler, And then RH2Z that's communicating that will go with non-communicating outdoor units in space tier platform. Yeah, but you can have air handler with non-communicating outdoor, like you can do with the furnace today.
Special thing, yeah.
They, for some reason, that is a picture of our RH2VN, so that unit goes with the side discharge mini split outdoor.
Oh.
205 ton.
Mini split.
I don't know why they picked that picture, but yeah, that unit has flared connections on full.
Yeah, I see them flare connections. I better hook your mini split up to that, folks.
Meter device outside. Don't know why the picture of it, but it's a good catch. The other guys didn't catch it. That unit will actually re-release those, so they'll still be in existence. It's called the RP17H right now. It'll have a new name, but it'll still be around. Many residential package units, ResiPack. So you're going to have a two-stage gas that's Ethernet enabled, and you're going to have a dual fuel two-stage gas or a heat pump. With gas that's Ethernet enabled, and then you're going to have several other heat pump options that aren't Ethernet enabled. And the package on these, the platform on them gets slightly bigger, but not bad. The other thing about all these other changes that we're talking about, the mid-tier, even though it's rated as 16 tier 2, is built in a current RP14 test, so it's a little unit. So it's way smaller footprint than our current 16 tier. Sustainability, standout seal, we talked about Bluetooth connectivity, we went through the app. Basically, you have to have that for the Ethernet to set these up. We're going to get an compressor site. Let's take a 5-minute break here. Yes, internet question? Good.
All right, folks, I'm finna get ready to end this. I'm gonna do another 10 minutes, and there's probably another hour of training left. I got an appointment I gotta be at 3 p.m. Let me see how long it's gonna take me to get there. And I just got a quote approved to do a leak repair on a package unit evaporator coil. So I may start that this evening too, but I'm scheduled for in the morning. It'll be a nice little payday too. Y'all already know it on that Jabra app. You ain't got Jabra, what you doing? Let's see how long it's gonna take me to get there. All right. So I got probably about a, what that, 28 minute drive, folks. So it's about 30 minutes. I'm gonna get this train another 5 minutes. Cause I can't leave my live stream on without it. I would like to record and see what they're gonna be talking about at the end, but it's gonna be another one of these trainings in October. I'm gonna see if I can get it. Actually, I got a lot of trainings. This right here was like a little trial. I want to see if I can live stream some of these trainings, but some more trainings coming up. Some of them got to pay for, but they're gonna be in like a Zoom meeting. So I'm gonna see if I can give it to y'all for the high free. If y'all interested in this training, so. But I'm finna get ready to wrap it up, man. Hey, y'all hit that like button before y'all leave. I appreciate it. It'll help the YouTube algorithm. See if we can spread this channel to more people that interested in HVAC. Look like the host done took a break. But peace out, man. Y'all stay safe out there. All right.